holding a sign, "I'm a veteran, will work for food," and hey, we are contacted. Somebody says, "Hey, there's a veteran out here." Our case managers go out there and actually contact them. They'll work with them. So, and some of the programs, like I was saying, there's kind of a step-by-step program basically to get them back on their feet, to get them stable, and so they are self-sufficient. So that first step kind of is the emergency housing need that they have.
This guy, he's got to have a dinner first. You got to feed him.
Exactly. And you know, the community of Erie is fantastic because pretty much for every meal you can get a hot meal for the homeless out there with city missions, with different organizations. I mean, our case managers at the VA, they work very closely with this. They know everything that there is.
Somebody wants to ask you about this.
Oh, great.
Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Well, good morning, Reed. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Richard. My dad was a veteran. He passed away about 11 years ago, but he'd go to the Erie VA all the time, and I have nothing but compliments for the Erie VA. They were fantastic for him. So I just thought I'd call in, and I mean, the service was great.
That's okay, right?
But the service, you know, I mean, it was just fantastic. If he needed any medications or anything, they just give it to him. So
great.
I just want to compliment you. You're doing a great job out there.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Okay, send me an envelope.
Word.
I got some. Well, you know, I've got to throw in a quickie here. I'm an EMT trained, and I in the fire department, and we had to pick up a veteran. And you always call ahead to the hospital when you're bringing him in. And I said, I got so-and-so here, and he needs, he's got such a problem. They said, well, we don't have any room. I said, what? He said, no, send him somewhere else. We sent him over to Hammond. But that was about 15 years ago. Let's hope that things have changed. Back then, incidentally, we were bringing soap to the VA hospital out in Long Island. They didn't have soap, towels, they were on toothpaste. They asked us for all kinds of things, you know. And I guess the funding is better now. You probably have at least Ivory soap.
And I'll tell you that diverting veterans to community hospitals, that's one of the things that if we feel that the veteran would receive better care because maybe it's not our specialty, we don't have cardiac surgery or anything like that, then we will divert. But for the most part, we try to any veteran that's coming in on an emergency basis.
Well, in defense, he was a frequent flyer. He was in regularly, and he had Alzheimer's. At this point, they said, look, we've done all we can for this guy. Let somebody else work on it. I guess. That's only my speculation, you know. We're sitting here with Sarah Gudgeon, Richard Moore, talking about the hospital, and we still haven't finished with the homeless yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Okay, let's talk about the homeless again. You got a great program for the homeless. You go out, you do outreach. You try to call them in. How do you call them in?
How do we call them in?
Big loudspeaker homeless vets?
Pretty much. Well, I mean, again, we work with a lot of community organizations. Our healthcare team does that very, very well. So we are able to usually place veterans coming in with a emergency homeless shelter at that point. We work very closely with something called the Liberty House, which houses 10 male veterans. Usually they have a lot of case management services, you know, different financial classes that they can take, different things like that our case managers will work with them while they're in that emergency housing. Then the next step, we also have a HUD-VASH, which of course, you know, the government, we're known for our acronyms. That's the Housing Urban Development Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing is what it stands for. Right now we have 60 Section 8 housing vouchers, and all of them are in use.
Section 8.
Section 8 housing vouchers. What this is, this allows veterans who are homeless to receive basically a discounted rate on their rent, so they can start to transition on their own. They have this, they're not paying as much. I believe it's 30% of their income that they are getting. That's all they have to pay for their rent. So
30% of their income. which it might be very little.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's why we work with a lot of landlords. The HUD-VASH program works with landlords there. So HUD-VASH identifies the veterans who can use this, who can be committed to making sure that they transition, they try and find work, they work with them to find different jobs and everything so that they can maintain their Section 8 housing voucher, they can maintain a stable life, and they can eventually give back that Section 8 housing voucher to the HUD-VASH so another veteran can use it. We are one of the only VAs in the nation, I would say, that has all of our housing vouchers in use by veterans. That is because there's such a need for it, obviously, in our community, and we've been granted more. We used to just have 25, but then we got 35, which was fantastic.
Well, how many homeless vets would you estimate you have in Erie, or your community?
In our community, you know, I can't even take a guess, but of the ones that we've seen, we have seen at least, I would say, about 500 have been screened for homeless veterans. And also something to point out, we don't only deal with homeless veterans. We deal with veterans who are on the or at risk of becoming homeless too. And right now, our case manager, I just talked to her the other day, and she's saying that there's a shift between the clientele that she's seeing coming in. It used to be single males coming in, mainly because of a substance abuse or something going on like that. However, now they're seeing more families coming in, and a lot of job loss, obviously, that we've talked a lot about with the economy.
Right, being evicted.
Absolutely.
Then they need a home, right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking
they
about
need
here?
a home. And these Section 8 housing vouchers are a fantastic gift to the families because they can go into an apartment. You know, I've talked with this one gentleman recently. He has gone through all of the steps of this homeless program. He has been in the Liberty House, then he went to HUD-VASH and he got his Section 8 housing voucher so he could start moving out on his own. And he also got a job through the VA. They helped him with a compensated work therapy program that we call it. And they help veterans who have some sort of substance abuse or some sort of mental health issue going on. They help them find jobs out in the community.
So this is not easy either, because most veterans are loath to come in and admit they have mental health problems.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, now, how long does these voucher last, this voucher?
These vouchers, I'm trying to think. I want to say about 2 years, I think they can have it. Pretty much whenever they get off the housing voucher, usually they don't like to have them more than a couple of years, I believe. But then that comes back, so we can use that again. We try and stay under a year, I believe. But
okay, that gives them a leg up for a year anyway. A third of their income will cover their rent, which is terrific in this day and age.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, our time is kind of winding down. We still have a few minutes. Are there any other programs that you have there that are important that you would like to mention?
We have a number of programs. We could have talked about this the whole time, but we do have also a women veterans program. I mean, we really stress that, you know, this isn't your grandfather's VA anymore. We're really adapting to serve the veteran population. And Rich Moore, he could talk very well about the women veterans program.
What do you got, Rich?
Well, the women veterans program, women have special needs. And as that population continues to increase, and there are more women serving in the service now, the VA has to be forward-looking because those will transition into VA healthcare. VA healthcare predominantly was male-oriented. We need to be doing better. So we actually have a women veterans coordinator. Her name is Nadine Sitter, and she is just out there all the time, outreaching, trying to...
There are a lot of women in need here.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, how many women are there in, say, your community? Or
Well,
do you
right
have any
now,
idea?
the last report, just returning service members, which is the numbers that I really watch, we actually have about 800 women on our roster that have come back into the area somewhere. We
These are
have
people
roughly
from Iraq and
right.
Afghanistan.
We have roughly 100 that are using the VA.
Which is something people don't even think about.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
And again, I mean, there's, you know, you've got to have programs that meet the needs of the veteran, regardless of whether they're women, men, whether they're World War II, returning today. And the only way to do that is design your programs around the needs, not what we perceive they need, but what they actually tell us they need. And Sarah's been very good at getting out and having veterans advisory groups. to find out how we're
Uh-huh.
doing and what we could be doing better.
Okay,
So-
now what are they telling you?
What are they telling us? Well,
The advisory groups is how you can do better.
how we can do better. I mean, and they just give a lot of input about different things that there's a lot of miscommunication, I guess, misunderstanding about the programs because we do have so many different things. So, for example, with the Women Veterans Program, a lot of people don't know about that we have a new baby program and that, hey, we cover some maternity and prenatal type of care.
Well, that's
different
one of the
things like that.
complications of dealing with the women vets is a lot of rugrats come along with them sometimes, huh? You're now having to deal with children who are with that woman. So you do have programs for this, huh?
We do. We have a lot of programs. Also something for this target audience too that I want to mention, we are one of the very few places in our Erie area that has an inpatient hospice unit as well. We have about 13 beds there. This is a fantastic unit. They're always having different programs, going outside, planting trees, planting fruit in vegetable gardens.
Keeping
They
them
have
busy.
out
Well,
there.
you know, even today, the majority of your vets are senior citizens at this point, from World War II and from Korea and from Vietnam especially, and they're the ones who've really been blasted, they tell me, as the Vietnam returning veterans. You talk about the syndrome or the... Okay, I got to wrap up. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Is there anything give your phone number, would you? If they want to get in touch with you, tell them how to get in touch and what your name is.
Okay, please get in touch with us. You can call us at 868-8661. You can also call us toll free at, I just want to make sure I get this right, at 1-800-274-8387. Please contact us. We are here to serve our veterans, so we'd love to have you on there.
We're out of here.
All
Let's run
right.
us off the air. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
I want to thank some other special people. Sorry, caller, we couldn't get you on, but next time.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to thank Chuck Kelsey, who has started all this programming here in this place 16 years ago. Devin Taylor, Chris Bird, Randy Bird, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zuck, who's doing the engineering big time, Don Zenz with the cameras, John Hamels, and Dan Berg occasionally. May you have a great day out there. Don't forget all the lovely festivals and the farmers markets and the dancing in the street that's going on up here in Chautauqua County in this gorgeous summer we're enjoying here. I want to say thanks again to all the people calling in, and I want to say, may all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.